to Joe Goes Everywhere, a Big Blend radio food, wine, and travel podcast featuring award-winning photographer and travel writer Joe Clark. Let's find out where she's taking us today. Welcome, everyone. Joe Goes Everywhere, and this time she went in a sidecar. Not any sidecar, a wild sidecar. She went riding on the wild sidecar throughout Sonoma's wine country up in Northern California. So she went, beyond the Golden Bridge. You know what? And San Francisco is beautiful, but she decided she's going north and had a good time riding around, going wine tasting, picnicking, tasting cider, and just had a beautiful time, didn't you? Welcome back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
had
you.
fun? Had fun?
I had a great time. Hope you've been having a good fall. It's been beautiful here.
Yeah, in South Carolina. It's beautiful right now, huh?
It was. And it was
Nice and
beautiful in California.
yeah,
We
fall is
landed and it
beautiful.
was 101 the day we landed. And that
Wow.
was, I don't know, like October 7th.
Okay. And then it went down a little bit, or no?
Yeah, it went down into the mid 80s, 90s, which was perfect because I had checked my weather report. I always check your weather report before you travel.
Yeah.
And so I had packed sundresses just like I would have been wearing at home, and it was perfect.
You wore a sundress on a sidecar?
Well, no, now I have a sundress type top that goes with pants. And so I did wear pants on the sidecar because getting in and out I would have been okay, but half the time, I traveled with my friend Audrey, so half the time when I was not in the sidecar and she was, then I was behind Jerome on the motorcycle. So we both had to dress in pants and be prepared to ride behind him.
So this sounds like fun, though. Like
it was a
it's
blast.
A whole different way of seeing it. So you each had to have helmets so he could talk to you as you're driving.
Oh, he's got state of the art voice sound system, and you don't have, like, you've got a little microphone and then you've got him right in your ear, but you can hear the other rider too. So we had three-way conversations going, and you could hear everything that was happening.
That's awesome. So you can tell you where you're going, what you're going to experience. So it's like a tour guide.
And what you're passing by,
Okay, cool.
So he was telling, like, the history of the area or which winery we were going to. And one of them was the oldest winery in the area. And don't ask me to pronounce that. We're calling it GB.
Okay.
Don't even go there.
But was it good?
We have slaughtered other words. We would really slaughter this one.
Well, you got to go, but let's just start with this. So this is like a cool company, like, because normally you're in a bus or something, but this is a big fat motorcycle. Like it's thick. It's a thick bike.
A real motorcycle with a sidecar. I felt so like
you're feeling
radar.
The wind in your wings, and you go on this.
You remember in MASH they had the sidecar in Korea, in the movies.
Exactly. But it's interesting. You just went gliding and now you're riding.
That's it.
So
that's
flying
awesome. In another way.
Yeah, really. But you're able to kind of get that vibe of the area. So I just think this is a cool concept. But I also I was on his website. And I was seeing, and everyone, you could go to ridesbyme.com. And also, Joe's got a great article about her experience up on blendradioandtv.com. So it's linked in the episode notes as always. But it seems like he does groups too. So he has other, people riding.
He has
so
some
you
other,
weddings.
He has some other drivers. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he does other areas. He does tours of San Francisco. He does foodie tours. So if you're not into wine drinking and don't want to spend an entire day going from winery to winery, he'll take you from restaurant to restaurant.
Yeah. Hey, it seems like he has a good time. Like he's having fun.
Yes, he is. As I said in my article, that you say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. This boy loves what he does. You can tell he is not working. He is having a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he's funny. He's fun. He's charismatic. He's a chef, so when you stop halfway through your day and have your picnic lunch, he prepared it all, and it's fresh and handmade
Did
and
I see
yummy.
that you had macarons again?
I did. He made French macarons that
Because he
we
is
had.
French.
He is French, so he spoiled us. We had French macarons for dessert. And I told him about the article I did on the wine tasting, wine pairings with French macarons in the Finger Lakes that we
Yeah.
talked about last month. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So he makes a picnic for you, which is cool. And you're having this picnic at a winery. And
Yep,
so
out
I
in the
love,
vineyard.
so
Hmm.
I think I can pronounce this winery that you're in. You went to Landmark Winery. I can pronounce
We
that, but
went
the
to
other one is
Landmark.
Gundlach Bundschuh.
Oh, now you're just showing off.
Did I do it? Yeah.
That
Don't forget.
sounds good to me.
Is it
Gundlach.
German? Is it German?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I spoke German and Dutch. My Dutch
Ah,
won
I
over
didn't
the
know about the German side of you. Now
no,
I've
well,
learned
we
something.
got German blood, but I took German and Dutch at the same time, and that was not a good idea. But I do kind of understand it sometimes. If it's French, I'm out. There's no hope for me in the language of French. But I'll eat the macarons though, which I was calling macaroons last time, and you had to
Yeah,
get me all
yep.
straight up on
They're a
that.
whole different animal.
But so he makes us, and so you get to be outside, and then you this is the greatest thing. You have a personal driver taking you around in a cool way, and you get to have wine and not worry about driving or
That's
anything
right.
like
You're
that.
not driving, you're riding with him, and he knows everybody, so they're
Oh,
expecting
cool.
you. He already has it scheduled. They both places, both wineries and the cider bar. The guys met us at the door and escorted us in, and they were ready and waiting for us when we arrived. So
Oh, that's cool.
we had a great day, and he has pre-checked everywhere you go. So he knew which ones were going to be closed. We went on a Wednesday, and some of them were closed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, off, kind of
Mm.
off season. And so he knew which ones were closed and which ones weren't. So he dealt with all that and had the day completely planned and picked out his favorites and the ones that he thought would be of the most interest to
Mm.
me as a travel writer and a wine and food writer.
Mm.
So
Cool.
he did a great job. He certainly has. He knew the right people to ask. One of the wineries was actually closed that day, and they opened the tasting room for us.
Oh,
So
that's sweet.
yeah, it was
Oh, that was really nice
very
of him to do
very
that. Yeah.
nice, very nice,
And
and
so this is an area that's so famous for wine,
it is.
it's in Sonoma, like Healdsburg, Russian River, all of those areas just produce some of the best wine on the planet. They
They
do.
do, they
Mm.
do.
Did you have
And
any
I had a
favorites?
lot of it. I
Uh-oh,
had a
she
lot of
did.
really good wine.
I know you're going to be talking more about Sonoma County over the next few months, but did you have any favorite wine, or should we not go there? She's like, all of them.
Ooh, yeah, really, all of them. It's like asking which is. I don't have to worry about answering that question, but other people, when you ask them that, they say, what day is it? It's whoever I'm not mad at today. Um, I, I had a Pinot Noir that was
Mm.
divine, and that was at Landmark. I said it put a smile on my face that lasted all week.
Oh,
It was a 2017 estate Pinot Noir, so it
ooh.
came from their grapes. And Landmark has several different vineyards, three, I think, maybe more. So they have Hop Kiln is one of the labels that they produce and use. They have a vineyard in Santa Rita Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that those grapes have that it's different terroir. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the different dirt. So they're picking up different minerals and different tastes from where they grow. And when you taste one from Ray Hill and one from Hop Kiln and one from Santa Rita, and you compare the three, they're different, and you know they're different, but they're the exact same grape, and they were perhaps even pressed and stored the same way. So the difference is only where they grew. And perhaps the year and the weather, but if they're the same year, it boils down to dirt, like any farmer can tell you.
Yeah. No, but this is, I mean, how beautiful the background too, like seeing the fall colors come to the vineyards. That's
Yes,
magic. Isn't that
it
pretty?
was.
Have
It
to
was
have
just
that.
changing, and it was just beautiful. Um,
Mm.
we went to so many gorgeous vineyards all throughout the Sonoma County, but on this particular day we were staying very close to the town of Sonoma. I think we probably were not more than 20 minutes outside of town in either direction.
Mm.
Uh,
So you went and you stayed at El Pueblo Inn?
we did. El
Mm.
Pueblo is walking distance to most of the things in Sonoma
Nice.
proper. They have a historic um, center of town. They have an old mission there, and lots of interesting shops and restaurants. They have a lot of the wineries have tasting rooms in town. Um, didn't go to any of those because I'd rather go to the winery if I can. And so that's what we were doing, is going
Mm.
to actual wineries the
Yeah.
week that we were there. So,
How
but we
sad.
did have some good food. We had some Mexican food. We had French food. Um,
Yeah, a lot
lots
of
of
it, the farm to table out there too, you know?
It is. A lot of them own the land, enough land that they're growing vegetables too, that then they can serve in their restaurants.
Mm. You know, I find it cool that you went to a cider bar. So this is where he had different ciders come in. And so,
Yeah, yeah. He
did
has like over more than 150 ciders
what?
that, yeah, yeah. He has over 150 different ciders. And the shop and this is kind of cool too. It's Pommet Cider Shop and Tap Room, and Pommet is French for apple. So I think there's a French connection going on
I
here.
do with Mr. Jerome. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
did you get to taste any food with the cider, or is it pure just cider tastings, or you just in
You
buying a
could.
glass?
They had by the glass. They had tastings. They have one wine on tap where you can
Okay.
do tastings. They do have some food. They have local bites that they put together. They don't make them, I don't think, but they get things
Okay.
locally, cheeses and
Ooh.
meats and things like that, and they make plates. But
Mm,
we had a late picnic lunch right
mm.
before we went here.
Yeah.
So we weren't really hungry, and we were headed to dinner afterwards. So
Yeah.
we didn't partake of the
But
food,
what
but
was your picnic like? What was the food like in the picnic?
uh,
I know the macarons, but
yeah,
what
we
did he
had the
make you?
macarons. We had a huge thick sandwich with meats and cheeses. We had
Oh wow.
some Mediterranean foods and salads. We had
Oh wow. He's making this
uh
for two people.
yeah, you'd have thought there were 10 coming to that picnic when you saw the food come out.
So I think he likes food. He's a chef, so that
Yes.
helps.
Yes.
And actually, I think there's an art to good sandwiches. There really is an art to them.
There
So,
definitely is. There
mm,
definitely is. And putting the right cheeses with meats, you know, anybody can slap a piece of meat and a piece of cheese on white
yeah,
bread, but this was this
good.
was definitely scaled up. And we
Yeah.
had tabbouleh. We
Oh,
had
yum.
fresh fruit in a salad. Um,
Wow.
I've
So
got
he
to go
made
back and
sure.
look at my pictures to
Yeah, I
even
know.
know everything I
So
ate.
you had a good time, basically. This
We
was
did.
so you was making sure you could drink enough wine.
That was it. That was
Did you
it.
feel safe in this? Because I mean,
Yep.
it looks
Every
like fun to me. It looks like that is such a cool way to see things too, just because
Yeah, and
you're
everybody
out.
waves, and he has an ooga horn, the
Oh,
ooga.
ooga, ooga.
Uh-huh.
I can do that
So
if you
he
want.
said, whenever I blow the ooga horn, you have to wave like a queen. So we had to
All right.
practice our wave.
Oh
So we
dear.
we waved. When he blew the horn, we would wave, and the children loved it. Kids
Mm.
that were walking down the sidewalks and things, we would see them, and he would blow the horn at them, and they'd turn and look, and we'd
Well, the
wave.
whole sidecar thing is so European to me, because like the little Vespas and stuff where they
Right,
used to
because
have
where
the,
else do you see them?
yeah, I mean, I know they were over here too, and like I think Indian motorcycles might have done them. I'm not sure. I'm going to get myself into the woods there, but I know that. Well, but
Yeah,
there
I
are
know.
those. But it was like even yeah, like you were saying, when you were talking about that about MASH, now my mind is like that's very European to do it, and it's just a cool way to get around, and especially I know that he's based in San Francisco.
Yep.
Man,
And he does
yeah,
lots of tours out of San
that would
Francisco.
be such a cool way to see
Yeah,
that city
it
because
would.
there's
The
so many
hills and
different
all those winding
Knob
roads.
Hill and all of that with the little road. And I was on his website. He's got an amazing video showing drone footage of where he takes you. And it's like, that is a cool way to see an area. And then to go through the vineyards. Now
And
you kind
yeah,
of
I was
feel
going to
like
say
you're
we
in
went
Europe.
right through a
Yeah.
vineyard. I mean, he has permission because he's built a
Hmm.
reputation with the people. But yeah, we went right through the vineyard, and that was really neat.
Man, this is cool. This is cool. I just like that because it does feel like Europe. It does. And San Francisco to me is a very European city. And then going over to Sonoma, I mean,
Yeah,
it is amazing to me once you get over the Golden Gate Bridge. I keep calling it the Golden Bridge. It's the Golden Red Bridge, but the Golden
yeah, the,
Gate Bridge.
the red Golden Gate.
I know the Golden Gate Bridge, but once you get over that bridge, it's like the whole nature changes. It is
Yep.
amazing to me how things change with the setting, and then the vineyards come and the coast.
Right.
I know we're going to talk about Point Reyes down the road. I mean, Bodega Bay and that whole area is one of my favorite places in the world. And if you can get the cheese, that cheese needs to
Yeah,
be on a
he does, and he does a cheese tour. You can do
what?
one of the tour.
What?
He does a tour that is all cheese. He got takes you and from San
Oh,
Francisco, it's all cheese. He does
no
a
way.
cheese tour way. He does a
You
nighttime
did you
tour.
say way while we're talking about cheese? You did.
Well, you said no way, and I
And
said
I said,
way.
well, we're not talking about curds and whey, but we're almost there. but but this is cool. But this is like, oh my gosh. Now, do you want to go back and do that one with the cheese and the
Oh yeah. I would go back and do every tour he does. He does
that
he
I want
does
to,
Napa.
yeah,
He does Napa. He
sweet.
does the tours in San Francisco. He does one of all the area's monuments, and he
Oh,
does
cool.
one of all the views of San Francisco from the tops of all the hills, 12
That's
different hills.
epic.
So
The hills are
at
alive in San
nighttime, I
Francisco.
would love to
Oh,
do the nighttime one.
yeah. I mean, it's just because there's so much history in San Francisco. I mean, it
Yep.
is layers after layers. I love all the different neighborhoods, and because they've kept the integrity of the history, like also like Haight Ashbury and all of that. But you've got to go to Sonoma too, and that's the thing. I think
Oh yes.
people sometimes go Napa or San Francisco, and I think
Yep.
places like Sonoma
You're,
sometimes we want to
you're
you
getting
really
missed.
bang the pots and pans on Sonoma is
Or maybe we should
magical.
be quiet. That way it doesn't get any more crowded than it already is.
Really, is it getting crowded there? Because I always thought it was pretty like a hush hush secret. Not.
Well, I think word has leaked out. There were
Oh,
a lot of people there, and like I said, we were off season as far as I'm concerned. Now they call it the season because it was the harvest, so we saw lots of harvesting uh,
oh, cool.
going on or finishing up,
Hmm.
um, and there were most of the places, some of the the bigger places, when we went, they had reservations only, and it was like, if you're not here at 1:30, if you're 5 minutes late, you need to let us know, because
Mm,
you're throwing off the next group.
mm.
And so that
That's
it was a
important.
lot busier than I thought it would be,
Yeah,
because living in Myrtle Beach, you're used to the season, and after Labor Day it starts dying down, and by October, there's no wait at any of the restaurants down here then.
mm,
It's perfect time. And I
yeah.
just thought, oh, we're going at the perfect time. There won't
No,
be
so
lines, there
I
won't
do
be
know,
tourists.
I know Sonoma, for over 25, 6 years I've been going there. And
Wow.
that area, and but I haven't, done much over. Well, no, we were just, yeah, we keep going through, and it is busy because it's, above San Francisco, but it was more like when I first, started going there, it was still more farming, and but like real farm to table as it still is now, and growing. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're going to Napa," and I'm like, "No, I'm going to Santa Rosa, or I'm going to Healdsburg." And Healdsburg's a very special place. I know we're going to
It
talk about that
is
in the future on the show.
definitely.
And I love Santa Rosa dearly, and Russian River and all the redwoods. I hope you saw some redwoods while you were out there. Um,
Yes,
it's just
finally.
and Marin County is nearby, but Sonoma, it was more, I don't know, I'm not gonna say it wasn't bedroom, because there's so many historic neighborhoods too, but just kind of this very laid back feeling. Yes, you could
Yeah,
have traffic on the 101 and stuff, but it's, I don't know, it's always been chilled out to me,
yeah.
you know.
Once you get off the main highway and get into Sonoma, it was pretty quiet and pretty walkable. Um,
Mm,
it was nice.
I like it. I like that you were
You're right. It's
downtown.
laid back.
Yeah, I like laid back places. California's kind of like that. We've got some laid back time. You know, but hey, busy means they're doing something right.
It
So,
does.
well, hey, I love that you went riding. She went on a wild ride because Joe goes everywhere. And she's starting to prove that Joe goes everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere and
In any way,
anyhow. And anyhow and
anyhow.
anyway.
That's
Yes,
it.
and anyhow.
Anyway, anyhow.
Yeah, she'll do it as long as there's wine on the other side and you got wine. That's for sure.
That's
That's
right. You
important.
have to you have to tempt me. You have to bribe me with
Mm.
wine.
Now you were talking about the Grand Strand, Southern California, Carolina, sorry. I got my California mindset going here. That you're
This
going to
is
be
Tales,
and
Carolina.
okay, there it is. We got it. You're going to talk about Christmas in your backyard in the next show. Joe goes everywhere, but she's staying home for Christmas and going to give us an
I'll be
update.
home for Christmas.
All right. And you're going to tell us about twinkly lights, gardens, some events,
Some
celebrations.
music, some
Ooh,
parades,
nice.
all kinds of things going on in the South. It's a good place to spend Christmas.
I know you guys do love Christmas, don't you?
Any excuse for a party, you know that, Nan.
Yeah, yeah.
Lisa, I almost
We're the
called you
same.
Nancy.
It's all right. You can. Well, we're looking forward to that. So thanks so much. As always, fun to keep up with your adventures around the world and across the country. And we'll talk Christmas next. So happy
We will.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, and keep riding.
Yeah, you too. Everyone, happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us. Keep up with Big Blend Radio's Joe Goes Everywhere podcast on bigblendradio.com. Keep up with Joe's adventures. Go to haveglasswilltravel.com and recipestravelculture.com.